fucking hot. Okay, hi. All right, Emily to Gremily here with another solo episode. And I just burned the crap out of my mouth right now. Okay, I want to welcome back all returning listeners. And if this is your first time listening, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. That was a chaotic start. I'm sorry. Episode drink of the week. I have started 75 hard, so we're not going to be doing cocktails for I don't know how many weeks, but until April, basically. So I made myself a ginger and dandelion tea. I know, guys, I'm basically like the pinnacle of health. And if you're watching on YouTube, yes, this is a mug with a picture of my baby face on it. See, wasn't I so cute? What happened? Actually, I kind of look like a little old lady. But I didn't make this like for myself. I'm not that conceited. It used to be my Nana's cup. And then when she passed, I took it because I don't know. I thought I looked kind of cute. Anyway, but ginger and dandelion tea, that is hot, so we will let that cool. I thought I let it cool enough already, but alas, I did not. Okay, so I wanted to kind of give a little start. I'm not going to be starting every single episode like this from now on. I just want to do like a really quick like update almost of what happened with me starting 75 hard. After this, you won't hear about it until I end it, or unless something like amazing happens or terrible happens. But I wanted to tell you guys, so I had said last week that I was going to be starting on Monday, and I didn't. I started on Thursday, January 15th. So I will now be ending Tuesday, March 31st, which will be in perfect timing for the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. So, April 1st hits and it'll be turn up. We can all rage. And I had to start a few days late due to, how can I put this? Lady troubles. If you don't know what that means, then just move on. So yeah, I started it Thursday, January 15th. It's not as neat and tight and wrapped in a bow as I like it to be, but it's okay. And I, the first day of my workout, I decided I was going to walk to Trader Joe's, my local Trader Joe's. And I've done that walk before. I haven't done it in a while, but I was going to do a 45-minute walk outside because you have to do one 45-minute workout outside. So I was like, that can be my workout. And I was like, I'm going to take the long way. So it's like a full 45 minutes. And I didn't include the 45 minutes that I was walking around Trader Joe's. I didn't realize that the hill, because I have to go uphill to get to Trader Joe's. I didn't realize that the hill I was walking on was much steeper than the one I usually walk on. I thought I was going to like pass out. I was sucking in air so hard. And then I was trying to take videos of myself so I could make a daily vlog of 75 hard. So, first off, I can't breathe. Second off, I'm so embarrassed to be taking footage of myself just like in public. And then third, I looked like I was gonna die, or I sounded like I was gonna pass out. Luckily, I turned the sound off and then I did a voiceover for the TikTok. I was struggling, guys. I didn't realize I was that out of shape. I mean, I knew I hadn't worked out in a while, but man, that was humbling. And then I've been doing my second workout is an at-home workout using these YouTube videos, and the creator is Move with Nicole or Move by Nicole. I'm not 100%. But anyway, I found her on TikTok. She has like this banging body and she lives in like Thailand, and there's just these beautiful videos. And I was like, oh, I can do that. That sounds fun. She's a fucking badass and she kicked my ass both days. And yeah, so if I don't look like her at the end of this, I am going to, I don't know, sue someone. I don't know who, but yeah, hopefully my goal is to look like her. And you guys should look her up and you can see what I'm talking about, and then you'll see why I want to be her, basically. So yeah, I said I was going to do daily vlogs. I am doing them. I didn't realize how hard it was. Like, I knew like creating content is a task. When I first started like a year ago, I didn't realize how big of a task it was. Now that I'm doing the podcast, that's a whole new beast. But filming daily vlogs, I know I'll get used to it and it'll become like easy to me, just like creating the podcast is now. But it's so much different. Like, it's such a different style and technique than this podcast is, that I wasn't used to, and I'm using a different software than I'm used to. So the first video I put up, it's not like it's like this fantastic video. It took me, I'm not even going to tell you how long it took me. It took me a while. And then I was like YouTubing tutorials on like how to add a text because I couldn't fucking figure it out like a grandma. It's so embarrassing. I can't stand myself, but I'm figuring it out. Hopefully it'll become easier and the footage will become better. Just everyone fingers crossed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm sticking with the rules I made for myself, which were all home cooked meals. So no takeout, no alcohol, which yesterday I kind of wanted to have a drink. Not because I was like, having a moment. I was just like trying to put together like a bunch of stuff. I had a ton of work to do and I was like, I just want a martini. But I didn't make one. I don't even have anything to make one with, actually. So, bummer. But yeah, so no alcohol, 2 45-minute workouts Monday through Friday, one workout Saturday, and Sunday is my workout rest day. Also, the YouTube videos, the Move by Nicole or Move with Nicole, not all of them are 45 minutes, but I feel like I'm dying just doing like a 30-minute one. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace, and hopefully, in a couple weeks, I'll have some stamina and I can find the 45-minute versions of her workouts. Let's just take it one day at a time. Drinking a gallon of water. I am doing that. I have my big old cup. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see. So I have to drink 3 of these a day. And I thought it wasn't going to be that big of a deal because I drink water exclusively, with the exception of Celsius Alani or alcohol. But it's kind of a task. I didn't realize how much a gallon is. And I do drink a lot of water. I just don't drink a gallon of water a day. So it's been a little more challenging than I thought. But I mean, it's not the worst thing I could do for myself. And then instead of reading the 10 pages of a nonfiction book, I said I was going to replace doom scrolling with productive work, such as working on this podcast and content creation. I don't have time to do anything else except this right now because I'm like, I feel a little frazzled, like with trying to do TikTok and the podcast. I know it's just because it's the first week and I'm trying to get like the hang of it. But right now I'm struggling. I'm hoping when next week comes, I'll be able to just like, get the hang of it and, make my vlogs and do all my work for the podcast. Right now I'm just, I'm easing myself into it. I don't know. I'm trying to give myself grace. And then taking a progress picture every single day. I said I wasn't going to do that. I'm going to do it every Monday. So yeah. And that's pretty much it for 75 hard-ish. Like I said, I'm not going to keep updating you guys on this every single week. I just wanted to tell you guys that I did do it. And I did think about not starting it until next week because I wanted to start on a Monday, but I couldn't do that because I couldn't come on this podcast and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I didn't start it, because like, get your shit together, lady. So I started it. I'll let you guys know if something amazing happens, terrible happens, or you won't hear about it until April. And that's pretty much it for that. Hopefully my tea is cooler now. Okay, much better. Actually, I was supposed to add lemon juice to my tea and I didn't. That was a mistake. I will do that tomorrow. Okay, so for the rest of the episode, I have one Gremlin story. Actually, I'm going to do this a little out of order but there is a method to my madness. I'm going to do one gremlin story, one gremlin gossip, and the last segment is going to be gremlin guidance, which I have 2 guidances. I decided to put them out of order, which honestly kind of bothers me a little bit, but I put them out of order just because of what was being talked about in the guidance. I felt like it should be a kind of an end of the episode subject. So with that, let's see, we'll start with the gremlin story. And gremlin story is anonymous. And anonymous says, this 100% has to stay anonymous, but I did something so terrible and now I can't say anything because too much time has passed. I went out with my girlfriends for Halloween this past year, and we love to drink and party, so we are raging at a club with bottle service and a booth. At some point in the night, I remember needing to vomit, and I did so in a small waste paper basket. I felt better, and the night went on. The next morning, we wake up at my friend's house, all hungover. One of my friends was upset about something, and I asked what happened. She says, "You don't remember? Someone threw up in my purse last night and then just put it back down. I picked it up to get my lip gloss and put my hand in a puddle of puke." And that's when it hit me. It was me. There was no waste paper basket. It was her purse that I threw up into and then went back to dancing. I oh my god, I knew what was coming and still I contemplated telling her, but instead said, "Wow, that's crazy." And now it's been months later and I can't say anything now. I'm not sure if she'd laugh it off or be really mad at me. Also, please don't use this clip for social media because she might see it and put 2 and 2 together. Okay, thanks. Bye. Anonymous. Oh my god. um, yeah, I was always because I always skim my email like real quick before I read the whole thing, and I saw club bottle service and then waste paper basket, and I was like, why would there be like a little waste paper basket in the club? Like, how odd. And then I read the whole thing, and I was like, oh yeah. Um, Girl, yeah, okay. I usually try, well, not usually, it hasn't happened recently, but if I have a story that I can tell of my own that I can like relate to the story, I will tell my version of what happened to me. I don't I don't have anything for this. I've never thrown up in someone's purse before. Um, and no one's thrown up in mine, thank God. I did one time see this girl at a club who she was getting kicked out because she was like really drunk and disorderly. And I don't know what she thought she was, where she thought she was. I don't know what happened, but I was like looking over at her and she was trying to, like, as if she was putting on her pants, but it was her purse. Like she kept stepping into her purse, and security finally just like kind of picked her up and baby doll carried her away. I've seen that, but yeah, this is hopefully a unique experience. I'm sure there's somebody else out there though that has either done this or had it done to them. Um, okay, also I won't use this clip for social media. I'll use something else. Yeah, I don't know if she would think it's funny. I don't know what kind of girl she is. I don't know if she would laugh at that. Also, how expensive was the purse? Like maybe if you want to clear your conscience, you could you could like buy her a new purse and then and a lip gloss and say, "Hey, like I'm so sorry. Like I was afraid to tell you. This is to replace what I ruined." You could do that, but I don't know if you want to. You might just want to take this one to the grave. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. um, so anonymous, no worries. Your secret is safe with me. It won't be on social media, but you do know this is going out into the world and on YouTube. So hopefully she doesn't see it or hear it. Okay, and the next one is Gremlin gossip. And Gremlin gossip is also anonymous. It wasn't signed. It didn't say keep me anonymous. It just was unsigned. So I'm taking that as they want to stay anonymous. And this one bothered me too. All right. Anonymous says, I have a gossip that is kind of sad. I moved to a new city for grad school and didn't know anyone yet. I had made a couple of friends in class and was invited to go out for drinks with them on a Saturday night. I was a little reluctant to go, but it had been months since I had gone out and I really wanted to make friends, so I forced myself to attend. While at the local bar, one of the girls said her boyfriend was going to come by soon. When he arrived, he brought two of his friends. The six of us mingled for about an hour, and I was becoming friendly with one of the friends. When us girls went to the bathroom, they both commented on how flirty he was being with me, and we looked cute together. The night ends, and we all go our separate ways. Over the next few months, I became closer with the girls and would go out with them, sometimes for just a girls' night, and other times accompanied with the three guys. One Saturday, while working on a paper, I received a text from one of the girls begging me to come out with the group tonight because the friend was asking about me and tonight could be the night. I was overcome with butterflies and was nervous excited. I put an effort into how I looked and went out hopeful. Sure enough, we all meet up, and the guy and I are glued together at the hip all night. At the end of the night, we were left alone, on purpose, I might add, and I decided to take the chance and invite him to my apartment. He agrees, we go back, do the do, and the next morning wake up happy. When he's leaving, he gives me his number and says he works weird hours. So if I don't hear from him right away, don't worry. And not to call him, just text. I found it a tad bit odd, but didn't think much on it. At our next class, the girls are prying, asking what happened. So I told them. They are both so giddy and say, OMG, finally. I say, finally what? That's when they spill the beans on what they call their quote unquote brilliant plan. They tell me that this guy has a girlfriend that they completely despise and that they came up with the plan to get him to cheat on her. They said I was exactly his type, so they knew he would fall for it, and they were so happy he did. I immediately felt sick and embarrassed. I asked why they would do that to me, and they kept reassuring me that I shouldn't feel bad because I was unaware of everything. So I'm innocent, and the girlfriend was literally Satan. When I pushed back further and told them they were acting like mean high school girls, they quipped back saying to take it as a compliment because I'm hot. I've never dealt with such childish behavior before. We were in a prestigious graduates program, for God's sakes. I refused to talk with them ever again, and I blocked the guy's number. I was so humiliated, but the more time passes, now I just feel sorry for those girls because their lives must be so miserable to be consumed by such hatred. Sorry, I know this was long, but this felt like a safe space to tell this story, and I know that the Gremlin family would be too cool to ever think of doing something like this. Anonymous. This made me so sad for you. I'm horrified that this happened. I I will never understand people that act like this. It's worse than acting like a high school girl. I've never known anyone to be like this. I mean, and I've met some like terrible people, but this to befriend someone just for the sake of like this master plan to get back at this girl that they despise. This is like some like cruel intention shit right there. I I don't know. When I read that, I was like, I was upset for you, and I'm so sorry this happened. And the fact that you're a complete innocent bystander in this, and they set you up. They set this guy up. The guy's not that great because he cheated on his girlfriend, and that sucks that he fell for it. But to just like you were a pawn in their game, I'll never understand that. And yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is feel sorry for them. You gotta wonder what they're doing now. Yeah, that's horrible. and you were excited for the night. You were excited to go out and, you know, what the night would hold, and you were excited about what had happened. And, you know, I'm sure you felt like maybe it could be something, all for it to just like crash down on you, and for them to not even acknowledge when you confront them with their terrible behavior, for them to not even acknowledge, like, hey, you know what, maybe what we did isn't, you know, okay, or maybe we should think back on it and apologize at the very least. It like, I don't even know. I'm so sorry this happened to you. um yeah, I can't imagine, like, there's people I definitely don't like, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't like me. That's fine. But, you know, if I don't like someone, I just refuse to interact with them, or, you know, have them in my life. So I'll just never understand, like, you know, hating someone so much that you want to like cause like harm to them, you know, physically, emotionally, mentally, you know, all that. It's just, that's some evil behavior. I'm horrified that happened to you. I'm really happy. It seems like, because you said we were in a prestigious graduates program, so it sounds like this is like a few years behind you. So I'm happy that you've now been able to just like let it go, and yeah, just feel sorry for them, because they're some sorry ass fucking people. That is horrible. I've never heard of somebody doing something like this. Like I said, this sounds like it's a plot to a movie. And in the end, you know, the bitch always fucking loses. So their loss is that you seem like you would have been an amazing friend, and now they just probably have each other and are miserable together. And you are completely correct. The Gremlin family would never do anything like this. They're way too cool for that. So I'm so sorry that happened to you, but you're better off without them. All right. And next, we have the 2 Gremlin guidance questions. Okay, I saved them for the end because they're both pretty heavy topics. I'm going to try my best to get through the first one without being emotional. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm going to try. Okay, the first one is from Amy. And Amy asks, what do you do when your person is gone? Hi, my name is Amy, and I'm a loyal listener. I'm wondering, how do you deal with grief and loss? My best friend of 20 years, we met in 3rd grade, just lost her battle with cancer on December 5th. I made it through the funeral and the holidays with the help of my family and friends, but now that everyone is back to work and school, I feel more alone than ever. I suppose I'm looking for a sense of hope and a light at the end of this extremely dark tunnel. All my best, Amy. Okay, this is one of those times where I am just craving a guest host with me, because I am not the best person to ask this question to. I basically can tell you what not to do. I've never dealt with grief well. Okay, so what I can say is 10 years ago, so this past December was the 10-year anniversary of my Nana's passing. And she raised me. She was like my mom. So with her passing, it really affected me. And the thing that I did was I didn't deal with it. I decided to basically numb myself with, you know, drugs and alcohol, and I kind of became a shell of who I used to be. So what I can tell you is, don't try to numb yourself to the pain of this, even though, like, you know, you don't want to feel all this grief and all the emotions, but you want to deal with it now as opposed to, you know, 10 years from now. I never really dealt with it. I have since, I guess I don't. I see. I don't know the right way to put this. I, the best way I can put it is, I guess I've come to terms with it. But even with that, it doesn't sound right. It's like, it's not the right context of which to say this. I I don't have a very well thought out answer, even though I knew I was going to answer this one for several days. And I really do try to like think of like an answer. But for this one, and I almost didn't put this in the episode because I didn't have an answer and I don't want to sound, ignorant or like it's like a word salad. I'm saying a lot of things, but nothing's coming out. But you wrote in and I didn't want to ignore you. So, I probably should have gotten a therapist back then. I should probably get a therapist now. Well, that's a story for a different day. Um, so I would say if you have someone, that you can talk this out with, I think that would be really beneficial for you. Someone who can give you the proper coping tools and mechanisms of which to deal with your grief. For me, when I took the 2 week break, that unintentional 2 week break back in December, one, I was telling the truth in which there was being, maintenance and construction on the building. But the other part of that was, and I said wasn't going to talk about it then, but I'm going to talk about it now. It was the 10-year anniversary of my Nana's passing, and I did not deal with it well. I'm still not dealing with it well, but I didn't think it was going to hit me as hard as it did. That was a little like shocking to me. And I think that like on top of, my sad emotions, I was like, wait, what the hell? Like, what's going on? I had not like the best time. And Decembers are usually not my most favorite time of the year. I love Christmas. I still have my Christmas decorations up. At this point, I need to put them away because it's now just looking like I'm lazy. But really, I'm just trying to squeeze the last like bits of joy out of Christmas because once the Christmas decorations go away, like it just makes the house look so sad. Not that I have a sad house, it's just the Christmas decorations just bring so much like light and joy. So December is usually a hard month, but Christmas and the decorations usually make me feel better, I guess. So yeah, just December's like not like a happy month because she had died December 14th or 15th. I don't even know right now. I think it was the 14th. It was the 14th. I get flustered. And then we couldn't have her services until after Christmas because of, the holidays. And so then we couldn't have her service until December 28th. So it was just like a whole like grieving process, or like, her death and then the grieving of it. And then we had to grieve again at the services, and it was a whole mess. And that came with like a lot of extra bullshit that I won't talk about right now. I will eventually, but not now. So yeah, December is usually hard. But I am happy that you have, people to lean on. And just because like your friends and family have gone back to work or gone back to school doesn't mean that they aren't there for you. It does feel weird when it seems like everyone's life moves on, but you feel like stuck in the same place. But it's good to have like a support system around you. I didn't have that. I don't really have a big family. I was in a toxic relationship at that time when it happened. So yeah, I didn't deal with it the best. Actually, I didn't deal with it at all. And I created bigger problems for myself in my grief. So just don't do that. That's really the only guidance I can give you. And I am so sorry for that. I really wish I was a little more eloquent. I'm so sorry I'm not. I think you need to lean on the support system that you currently have. But I do think it would be really beneficial for you to, seek professional help. I feel like that sounds really rude to say, and I don't mean it in a rude way. I just feel like it'd be great for you to talk to someone who is like completely unbiased. They can give you an outsider's perspective, and then they can give you the coping tools on how to deal with such a traumatic loss. I feel like I'm not giving you any guidance right now, but that's kind of all I have. I'm just telling you what I think I should have done for myself, and I didn't. So yeah, Amy, just know that I'm sending you all the love, but I do hope that this was a little helpful, even just like an iota of helpfulness. that would make me feel better about this. But I really wish I had someone here I could talk about this with, because someone else who is maybe a little less emotional than I am. But, hopefully I gave you a little bit of guidance. Okay, and the next question, I almost was just going to answer this like in an email back to this person, but I feel like I need to somewhat discuss it here. Okay, so she says, "Hello, dearie. I wanted to check in with my American girl to see how you are, considering the political state of the United States. We watch the news here and are completely gobsmacked by the stories coming out of your country. Hope you are well and safe. Lamenting in Liverpool." Okay, to see how you are. I'm not well. I feel like it's insane. I really love the Hunger Game movies. I didn't think I was going to have to live it, but it seems like that's the way we're going. When I filmed last week's episode, I had filmed that before the Minneapolis shooting. So I don't want anyone to think I was, I don't know, unwilling to talk about it. I've said this before. This is not a political podcast by any means. Number one, because, I like for this to be like an escape from the atrocities of the world. This is supposed to be a fun podcast where we talk about, funny stories in relationships, something you did that was embarrassing. It's a place for us to all get together and kind of, be goofy and not be embarrassed about like the things we've done or, anything like that. That's like the main point of this podcast. The second part of why I don't really like to talk about politics is because I'm not as well educated on it as I want to be. I try to keep myself up to date on everything that's going on, but there's so many more people that are way more knowledgeable than I am. I'm just a girl who watches the news. That's the extent of my knowledge, and I have my own opinions as well. What I can tell you is what's going on in this country is absolutely atrocious. What happened in Minneapolis was murder. I'm not going to, mince my words. Renee Good was murdered by who I deem an unqualified ICE agent, someone who was trigger happy. And if you can watch the video all over the place, they have the footage from it happened in a neighborhood. So they have the footage of all the neighbors on the street who got out their phones and took the video because there was just chaos among them. And then they have the body cam footage of the ICE agents as well as the officer who murdered her. And it's shocking what is happening. And to have the vice president of the United States state that ICE agents have absolute immunity, I think is a very dangerous statement. And I was looking at the qualifications to become an ICE officer because someone had said that it's like a matter of days that you can become one. And it's true. It takes longer for you to become a licensed esthetician or cosmetologist here in the United States than it is to become an ICE agent. If I wanted to, and that was my political belief system, by the time I film the next episode, I could be a full-blown ICE agent. You could see me in the gear. It's ridiculous. I think it's so embarrassing to now to say that you live in the United States, because I'm sure, the world thinks like that we voted for this. And in my personal opinion, I don't think he won the election. I think he stole it. And, I might get a lot of flack for what I'm saying, but I have the very little platform that I have. I am going to go on there to speak my truth. Number one, because it's my fucking podcast and I can say whatever the fuck I want to. And number two, because it's possible that soon here in America, we might not have free speech if he keeps going the way he's going. So I'm going to say what I want and need to say as long as I am able to say it. That's it. They're saying that ICE agents are now going to be going door to door to check for people's legal papers. And the last time I can remember that happening was what I read in, my history books in school when the Gestapo was going door to door to check for Jews. So, I mean, it seems like history is rewriting itself. And I think that's scary. And I think it's something that I don't understand why nothing is being done. And I have to hope and pray that there's stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, but that is going to advocate for change for the better for us. It seems like it's not happening quick enough. And it's just kind of like a helpless, hopeless feeling, to be quite honest. And yeah, Trump said that he's going to be sending ICE agents in full force to the blue states, which are the states that did not vote for him. California being one of them. And he said he's going to be hitting Los Angeles hard because we have a very proud Latin community here. So, I don't know what I'm expecting, but I'm not looking forward to it. And I'm very excited for a possible change that's coming because it has to change. It can't keep going on like this. Like it's crazy. It's pretty much all I can say. So how am I? I'm not well, lamenting in Liverpool. And I can't even have a drink to calm my nerves and myself because I'm doing 75 hard. But if this shit continues, then, this might turn into a hot toddy or something. I don't know. It's insane. And I'm just hoping and praying for good change, not to continue on this path that we are going on, because it's frightening, to be fair and honest. And I do plan on having somebody on who is much more educated than I am to talk about this. Again, I know it's not a political podcast, but it is important to talk about current events. We like to talk about pop culture sometimes. Current events are just as important. So with that, I'm going to end the episode. We kind of ended on a somber note, but that's okay. We will persevere. Okay, so if you would like to follow myself and the podcast, you may do so on Instagram and TikTok at Emily to Gremily Pod. You can also watch this episode and almost all the past episodes on YouTube, Emily to Gremily Pod on YouTube. If you have your own gremlin story, you need gremlin guidance, or you have a juicy piece of gremlin gossip, you can email me at emilytogremlypod@gmail.com and make sure to either sign your name or write anonymous. And if you have any ideas for future guests, we already have a list compiled right now, but if you have any ideas on people you would like to hear and see on this podcast, make sure to email me again, emilytogremlypod@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram or TikTok, Emily to Gremily Pod. And we already have a call to action from Sarah. She really loved the true crime episode we did back in, I think it was October. So we are going to do another true crime episode. We are also going to do a ghost and spooky story episode, and that will be starting next week. So this next podcast you hear will be either true crime or ghost and spooky story. I'm not sure which one I'm starting with first. So if you have any of those stories, please make sure to email them in ASAP. If you email them after the episode's already been filmed, no worries. I'm sure we'll be doing another one in the future. So no worries, just try to get them in as soon as possible. And make sure to like, follow, share, subscribe, rate 5 stars, do all the things. And that's it, guys. All right, well, cheers out with my tea and my baby face. So cheers to you, cheers to me, cheers to positive change in the world. Please, please, please. All right, cheersies, guys. Bye.